warning this morning from climate experts. A UN panel says governments around the world must take rapid action to curb rising temperatures, or else millions around the world face future disaster.
As the planet warms, wildfire season is becoming longer and more intense.
The steady rise in ocean waters will ultimately determine how long people can live so close to the shores.
The final call to save the world from climate catastrophe.
We hear about climate change all the time.
Oh my God.
We see it happening in the form of more extreme weather events and their deadly consequences. We also know there will be more of these events in the years ahead. Public concern about the impacts of climate change is higher than ever. But why, after decades of mounting evidence and warnings about how our behavior affects our environment, are we not doing more about it in our day-to-day lives? Where did the message get lost?
Climate warnings have been coming for decades, initially about a distant future.
Even now, man may be unwittingly changing the world's climate through the waste products of his civilization.
One model of climate, the Jason climate model, predicts that doubling carbon dioxide will result in August in Washington, D.C. that are 9 degrees centigrade warmer, or 16 degrees Fahrenheit, than current summers.
By 1938, rising global temperatures were scientifically linked to the burning of fossil fuels. Today, experts say the science is settled.
Climate scientists at the United Nations, they've issued a report saying if drastic action is not taken, climate change can reach crisis levels in a decade.
It's the superstorms bringing nations to their knees. The searing sun turning the earth into a tinderbox, leaving the ground cracked by drought, and the crashing waves of rising seas. But it seems this extreme weather isn't random. A UN report says this is climate change, and things are only going to get worse.
According to a new report, experts say that we have until 2030 to avoid catastrophe. It also says if unprecedented changes are not made and made soon, there will be irreversible damage to the planet. The report focuses on what could happen if global temperatures rise by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius or 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit. It would likely mean more erratic weather.
The fires in the U.S. come amidst a month of deadly climate-fueled weather across the world.
Heavenly Father, please help us.
Some of the official predictions made about climate change sound biblical in scale. More drought, more famine, more flooding.
For some, the recent flooding in the UK is also a consequence. It's led to calls by the former Archbishop of Canterbury and the Energy Secretary to act now.
Right now, global warming is measurable by scientists and not noticeable to the general public.
In 2015, 2016, and 2017, all those years, 3 of the hottest years on record.
When the general public says, oh, it was hot today, or we had a huge snowstorm in the east, those are issues that when you look at the science, you discover that you have to average literally hundreds of sites, maybe thousands, and look at the data very carefully before you attribute something to global warming. I think we need to stop global warming, but this idea that we're going to do it by getting rid of fossil fuels is doomed to failure because it's the cheapest source of energy for much of the developing world, and they want to develop the same standard of living we have.
But it's not just about reducing garbage. Recycling, plastic in particular, can have an impact on combating climate change.
Issues that are extremely difficult, how this will affect civilization, what can we afford to do, who's to blame. I don't want to play the blame game. I don't think we should. I don't think anybody should do that. That is unproductive.
Imagine you could turn this dry land into this.